You know, what if I told you that the key to understanding our entire technological future lies in a single color? Not just as a color, but as a spectrum of meaning. It's like a guide to both the incredible promise and the critical warnings that are waiting for us. So let's dive in and see what this spectrum can really show us. So, on one hand, you've got red as we've always known it, right? The color of nature, of passion, of power. But on the other hand, you see the future it represents now, this sprawling, interconnected new era of artificial intelligence. In this explainer, we're going to use the idea of a red spectrum as a lens to look at this amazing journey. Okay, so we're going to use what we're calling the red spectrum as our map. It's going to help us break down this massive topic into three distinct but totally connected ideas. First, we're going to look at red through the lens of nature. Think of it as the vitality of knowledge, but also the natural warnings of our own limitations. Then we'll shift to culture, where red is all about the passion and the sheer power behind our biggest, boldest visions for the future. And finally, technology, where red is the color of pure energy and, of course, critical alerts. So let's start at the very beginning. Every great technological leap, every single innovation that changes our world doesn't just pop up out of thin air. It has to grow from some really deep roots. I love this image because it visualizes learning perfectly. It really is like a tree. You can't just jump to the complex branches of mastery and innovation. You need a solid trunk of principles and, maybe most importantly, a strong root system of foundational concepts. That right there, that's the bedrock of all progress. And you can actually break that whole idea down into a pretty clear path. You have to start with the basics, those foundational concepts. From there, you start building principles that connect all the dots. After enough experience, that develops into what we call expert intuition. You know, that gut feeling for what works. And only after all that, do you get to the top, true mastery and the real power to innovate. Okay, so once that foundation is in place, you can start building toward a powerful culture-shaping vision of what this tech can actually do for all of us. This is where we see red as that symbol of passion and pure ambition. And this illustrates that vision perfectly. I mean, we are talking about a complete revolution, a healthcare system with predictive diagnostics, AI-assisted surgery, education totally empowered by personalized AI tutors for every kid, a sustainable planet managed with climate modeling and smart grids. You see, this isn't just about making faster computers. It's about fundamentally reshaping our society for the better. So what's the actual tech that's going to get us there? Well, we're looking at some seriously wild stuff. Things like agentic AI, which can basically act on its own to do things for us. Brain-like neuromorphic computing. Even direct brain-computer interfaces. And we're also on the edge of huge breakthroughs in robotics, sustainable energy, and a truly mind-bending concept called organoid intelligence. You know, the ultimate goal of all this crazy innovation is summed up perfectly right here. The whole idea is to harness this unbelievable flow of data to unlock possibilities we can barely even imagine today, all in the service of shared progress for every single one of us. But look, a grand vision needs an engine to make it real. So let's look at the powerful systems being built right now to manage this explosion of data. This is where we see red as a symbol of pure technological energy. Just look at this for a second. On one side, you've got the NSA software stack. On the other, the conceptual stack for the GCHQ. Now, the labels are a little different, but the architecture, it's astonishingly similar. Both of them start with this foundational layer of infrastructure and data intake, then they move up to processing and analytics that are powered by an AI core, and it all tops out with applications for users. This pyramid is basically the blueprint for a modern intelligence platform, and it suggests there's this convergence happening in how governments and big corporations will manage massive data sets. So, just so we're all on the same page, when we say software stack, this is what we mean. It's the whole set of tools, from the very bottom to the very top, that makes a complex system work. Think of it like the digital engine that's going to power that grand vision we were just looking at. And that brings us to our final lens. Every powerful engine has warning lights, right? This is the other side of red. The alert, the signal that tells us we need to pay very close attention to the challenges ahead. Because let's be real, for all of this incredible potential, the path forward is not a sure thing. There are very real, very significant bottlenecks and hurdles that we absolutely have to overcome to make that future a reality. The first major red flag is energy. It's huge. The sources point out that this global push for AI needs aggressive infrastructure and just massive amounts of electricity. So here's the crucial point. Our progress in AI is directly tied to our progress in sustainable tech, like next-gen batteries and way smarter power grids. The second bottleneck is literally physical. We are hitting the absolute limits of what our silicon chips can do. But the solution being proposed is something straight out of science fiction: organoid intelligence. Yeah, we're talking about using living brain cell cultures, a biological computer that could be millions of times more efficient at learning than our current hardware. That's a radical shift. And believe me, the challenges don't stop there. We still have to navigate super complex safety and ethical regulations, intense competition between giant corporations, and even fundamental shifts in how we design AI, like moving towards models that try to mimic how the human brain actually anticipates information. Each one of these is a major hurdle all on its own. So, we come all the way back to the red spectrum. It offers us this vision of incredible power, of passion and progress. But it also flashes these very clear warnings and alerts about the energy we're consuming and the limits we're facing. The question for all of us really is, which signal are we going to follow?